snack, saving an average of $40 to $60 monthly, turning scraps into valuable snacks. These Great Depression recipes are not just meals. They are a testament to the strength, resilience, and wisdom of our grandparents' generation. In this era of rising costs, perhaps it is time we relearn how they turned simple ingredients into meaningful meals. If you want to find more inspiration for cooking economically yet satisfyingly, please hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss new videos. And don't leave yet. Continue watching the video, 25 Forgotten Ground Beef Recipes Your Grandparents Ate to Survive, to continue this flavorful journey back to the past. Once upon a time, ground beef was a cheap but secret weapon in your grandparents' kitchen. When money was tight and meals were a daily challenge, our grandparents turned simple pounds of meat into flavorful, filling, and creative dishes with just a cast iron skillet and a few special spices. Today, we're going to explore 25 forgotten ground beef recipes your grandparents used to survive. This isn't fancy Hungarian goulash, but the ultimate American survival dish made from the leftovers in your grandparents' freezer. The beauty of goulash is that it allows you to combine ground beef with cheap elbow macaroni and whatever vegetables are about to spoil in the freezer. You might find soft bell peppers, sprouting onions, or even wilted carrots in your goulash pot. The ground beef is browned first, then all the ingredients are put into a single large pot. It doesn't require fancy technique, just patience for the flavors to meld into something greater than the sum of its parts. Grandparents loved it because it used leftovers and stretched ingredients beyond their means. Back then, a pot of goulash could feed a family for 2 days for just a few pennies and taste even better the next day. Every neighborhood has a family that makes goulash their own way, and each family swears their recipe is the only way to make it. It's all the best American survival cuisine. During the Great Depression, our grandparents figured out how to feed 6 hungry mouths with a pound of beef. This mashed potatoes topped with minced beef gravy was made in a heavy skillet. The beef was seared until the fat rendered. Your grandmother would use all of this fat and create a golden brown roux with cheap flour. Then she would slowly add milk, usually powdered or fresh milk bought in bulk and cheap, stirring constantly to avoid lumps, creating a rich, creamy gravy. This gravy was poured generously over the giant plate of mashed potatoes, leaving children begging for more, never knowing they were eating poor quality food. During the Depression, a pound of ground beef cost about 12 cents, less than the price of a cup of coffee today. Sometimes the best recipes come from happy accidents in the kitchen, and this barbecue probably came about when your grandparents decided to use up a bag of soggy corn chips instead of throwing them away. Ground beef is browned and seasoned with all sorts of Mexican-inspired spices like chili powder and cumin. Canned beans, corn, and diced tomatoes are added to stretch the meat and add nutrition. This mixture is placed in a casserole dish and topped with crunchy corn chips and cheese if possible. Not only does it add texture, it also creates a salty flavor that kids love. When grilled, the melted cheese and crispy chips contrast beautifully with the tender beef mixture underneath. A bag of corn chips and some shredded meat cost just a few pennies in those days, proving that the best innovation comes from working with what you have. When a regular sloppy joe wasn't formal enough for Sunday dinner, your grandmother used her ingenuity to turn it into a special-looking pie. The base was ground beef sautéed with onions, then seasoned with ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and a little brown sugar for an irresistible sweet and sour flavor. Instead of being spread on a burger, the mixture was placed in a casserole dish and topped with a cornbread batter made from a simple box mix or homemade. The cornbread rose and turned golden brown, absorbing just enough of the beef juices to retain moisture and flavor. Served with simple salad or canned green beans, this dish could make any family feel like they were having a proper meal. Back then, beef was so cheap that $1 would buy a week's supply, which is about $19 to $20 today. It's the perfect combination of familiar flavors and creative presentation to surprise guests while keeping costs extremely low. When Southern families needed to stretch out scarcer ground beef, they relied on rice, which was cheap, filling, and a great flavor absorber. Start with ground beef and sautéed onions, Then add rice, canned tomatoes, and